I'm Group 9. My topic is the role of North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO in global politics. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO is a military alliance formed in 1949, which is consisting of 32 member states. So I'll go straight to the collective defense. That is the impact of NATO in the nationwide. So the NATO plays a critical role in collective defense, particularly through the Article 5 of its founding treaty. As the NATO is a military alliance formed in 1949 to ensure the security and the defense of its member states against external threats, particularly during the Cold War. So I'll go straight to the function of NATO. The function of NATO in a collective defense. So NATO collective defense principle is based on the idea that an attack on one member is considered an attack on all. That is, this is codified in the treaty that states that if an armed attack occurs against a NATO member state, all other members are committed to consider that attack an attack on themselves. So the goal is to deter aggression and to ensure the mutual defense of member nations. So quickly, I'll go to the functions, the critical functions of NATO. That is the security and stability of its member states, crisis management of its member states, then global cooperation, flexibility in response. That is flexibility in response to issues of its member states. Then crisis management and peacekeeping operation. That is, NATO plays a significant role in crisis management and peacekeeping operations within the context of global global politics. Its function as guide.
Hello, Mr. Oladele. Are you there? Can anyone else hear him, or it's just me?
I think
Hello? Yes. Line just you there.
I can't hear him.
We can't hear him anymore. It's like the network issue.
Time, so let's just 1 minute. And the next presenter, Group 13, will take the floor. So in 1 minute, let's see if he's trying to join back in.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
You can continue, Mr. Ladele. We can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, the network just dropped me. Okay, so I'll just run down to the geopolitical tension and the NATO-Russia relationship. So I state here that the NATO-Russia relationship have been a key component in shaping global geopolitics, especially after the end of the Cold War. However, the tension between the two have escalated in recent years, and several challenges face NATO in addressing this geopolitical issue. I stated some of it, which is a security dilemma and the military posturing. So in a nutshell, I'll just go to my recommendation. At least I say here that NATO should focus on promoting global security cooperation I also state that they should focus on crisis management and conflict prevention. They should also focus on strategic partnership and the outreach, and also adapt to emerging threats. Then threaten internal cohesion. So that is it, sir.
Hello, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hello, can I just say something? Let me have the presenter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There was an article by the Provost lecturer on NATO. Did you advert your mind to that? Did you see it?
Yeah, I could not lay my hand upon it, sir. I was not in the.
No,
I've not been
no,
in the.
no. Once you just Google Yemi Oka on NATO, it's a very physical article that even a lot of foreigners have been asking for it. It's on High Online.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
very, very controversial article that people have been citing all over the world.
Yes,
That
sir.
kind of give you a picture of this. It's called extending frontiers of NATO and implications for Africa's development.
Yes, sir.
Yemi okay. Just the Yemi
Yes,
okay on NATO. To Google it even for class members. But the paper is
yes,
a potentially recommended paper.
yes, sir.
And the thing you want to see that NATO is there. NATO started as a response to Russia's Cold War area. But now beyond now that there's no Cold War, NATO has continued to expand. People are joining for whatever reasons, including the Russia and Ukrainian crisis. So the NATO has got so many issues. So those are NATO was set up for an objective, but then it's gone beyond its fundamental objective. Not delving in further issues. The answer is to late or to late not. I made a lot of points in there. I expect them to sleep. So there's no way you will have done a good job without even laying your hands on that because even foreign articles do refer to that article. A lot of foreign scholars make reference to that when they want to talk about NATO and the fact that some African countries are interested in joining NATO and what have you.
Yes, sir.
So that's for you to take home. Let's have the next paper. Just
Yes,
advance
sir.
your mind to it and
Yes,
use it to big up your paper before it is
yes,
submitted to me for assessment.
yes,
Thank you.
yes,
Let's
sir.
have the next paper.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Prof. Good evening, everybody. So my name is Anolu, and I'll be speaking on the evolution, growth, and impact of the Commonwealth of Nations. So in my paper, I have the introduction, I have the concepts of Commonwealth, the meaning of Commonwealth. Then I have the growth of Commonwealth, how it grew from the British Empire when the countries around the world when they were ruled by Britain. Then I also have the structure of the Commonwealth. So from the structure of the Commonwealth, we have the head of Commonwealth, who is King Charles III. He became the head of Commonwealth in September 2022. Then he has his own duties. He attends Commonwealth heads of government meetings, visits Commonwealth countries. He also delivers Commonwealth Day message every second Monday of March. Then we have the chair in office. The recent chair in office is Minister Fiami Naomi Matafa. Is the current Commonwealth chair in office, and the chair in office also has the duty to represent the Commonwealth at high level, and also the duty to host Commonwealth heads of government meeting. We also have the Commonwealth Secretariat, and the current Secretary General of Commonwealth is Shirley Ayoko Bochwe, who was elected on the 26th of October 2024. Then we have the Commonwealth Board of Directors, we have the staff, and so on. Their duties are in my seminar paper. Then talking about the latest or the recent Commonwealth meeting that they held in Apia, we can see what they actually came up with, what they talked about. They talked about climate change, the Commonwealth plan to seek to combat climate change. Also, they also elected the Secretary General in the person of um Bok sorry okay in the person of Shirley Ayoko Botchway. They elected a new Secretary General. Then also I also have the words of His Majesty King Charles III. They also talked about the Ocean Declaration and so on. So going to their impact, the impact of Commonwealth, they promote human rights and democracy. And we can see what they've also done. Now we have 56 independent countries, which makes up Commonwealth in Africa. There's 3 out of the world's 42 small states are Commonwealth members, each with a population of 1.5 million or less. Then we also have 2.7 billion citizens live in Commonwealth countries. We also see what they've done. Commonwealth has also observed 160 elections in 40 countries and so on. Then they also had 4 accredited organizations join the Commonwealth family. So now the accredited organizations has grown to 92. They've grown to 92. Then talking about food security and trade, the Commonwealth also help member countries trade more with one another, which can also boost economies. These are their impacts in the nation. Then we talk about development. They also help member countries to achieve development, democracy, and all. Then for human rights, there was one time they talked about cyber violence during, almost especially since COVID-19 period. Then they did a lot of things to curb that. Also, the global impact they also have in the nation. So they help member countries to amplify their voices and achieve collective action. They also address climate change during the meeting Then employment opportunities. The Commonwealth agencies have also over the years been a source of employment to the citizens. For education, they've also helped in educational development, sports, and all. So from the seminar paper that I sent, there is no challenge and there's no recommendation, but we sent the one I'm using now. I've worked on it. So the challenges Commonwealth is facing, or the challenges I feel they're actually facing currently, the first one is political challenge. Some members say struggle with political instability, authoritarianism, and electoral practices. Also concerning human rights, a lot of people have concerns over press freedom, over judicial independence, and all. Then we also have economic challenges. We can see that a wide economic gap exists between developed members. For example, when we look at UK, Canada, and Australia compared to developing nations like Africa. Then the social challenges, most especially for youth unemployment. There are many Commonwealth countries, especially in Africa and also in the Caribbean too, facing high youth employment. Therefore, education and healthcare disparities too. There are unequal access to quality education and healthcare. Also, environmental challenges. Then, for the recommendations of political solutions, I recommend that there should be a strengthened democratic institution which encourages free and fair elections, judicial independence, and press freedom. Promotion of good governance, increase in Commonwealth relevance also. Also, the economic solutions, which is enhancing trade agreements, supporting economic diversification, and so on. Then for social solutions, we can reduce youth unemployment. They can also improve education and healthcare. And for environmental solutions, tackling of climate change, promoting sustainable development. That's when they encourage renewable energy and eco-friendly policies. Also for geopolitical solutions, balance in foreign influence, when they encourage member states to engage with multiple international partners to avoid over-reliance on any country, for example, as in China. Then also resolving of conflicts through diplomacy. This will strengthen peace-building mechanisms in addressing internal and regional conflicts. Thank you.
No, ẹ jẹ́ kí n ẹ bá mi break ẹ dá kí n mọ̀ because kí n má lọ pé hello guys, let's have the next paper please.
Group 14. Kenneth, are you ready? Richard.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Good evening.
Okay, please remember 5 minutes. All right. Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Good evening, Prof. Good evening, everyone. My topic is a comparative appraisal of the community of Portuguese language countries. So this seminar is divided into 5 chapters. In chapter 1, I talked about the overview and historical background. Chapter 2, roles of Portuguese language. In chapter 3, I compared the key CLP nations. Number 4, that's chapter 4, opportunities for strengthening CPLP. And then chapter 5 is the conclusion and recommendation. So one vital fact I want us to have at the back end of this seminar presentation is that international institutions are most often than not formed by nations with shared concern with the objective of addressing critical issues that require transnational attention. And the ultimate goal is for growth and development. It is on this note or this basis that CPLP was formed in July 17th, 1966, for political and diplomatic relations between its member states, particularly for cooperation in education, health science, technology, defense, agriculture, culture, etc. The membership and the governance structure are well detailed in chapter 1. Presently, CPLP comprises of 9 and we have Angola, we have Portugal, we have Brazil, we have Mozambique, Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, South Tome, Timor-Leste. These are the 9 countries that made up CPLP nations. Now, a good assessment of the CPLP, that's a community of Portuguese language countries, will not be complete without addressing the role of Portuguese language in CPLP development. One of them is cultural unity and identity. You can read up the rest. We have communication and diplomacy as one of them too. We also have the economic and educational development. These are well detailed in chapter 2 of my work. Now, in chapter 3, comparing these countries, we can say that economically, if weighed in a single market, the industries of Portugal and Brazil will certainly be at much greater advantage than those of other CPLP nations, like the Lusophone countries, they are the Africans. We can certainly regard African countries as being within a similar economic, social, and political group of countries, which in turn is different from both Portugal and Brazil. So a key feature of the 5 African member states of CPLP is the pervading poverty levels. Although Cape Verde only recently emerged from the group of world's poorest nations. Angola, which is about the most prosperous among the 5 African member states, has an extensive unemployment and underemployment level, which is affecting half of their population. I have stated in my seminar that what underscores the challenges CPLP is facing is the emphasis on promotion of Portuguese language. For instance, at the 10th anniversary in 2006, the sole objective of that conference was to spread the international use of Portuguese language. CPLP is short in identifying issue-based areas among the African nations through which it can make useful contribution to the global partnership. I've also talked about in chapter 4, the opportunities for strengthening the CPLP nations. I talked about enhancing cultural and educational exchange, promoting economic cooperation and trade, strengthening the fight against corruption. So I'll go straight to my recommendation. I've said that first, the role of international institutions is and should be development of capacity to establish or create transnational connections with arrangement that could be employed to leverage opportunities for member constituents. So this necessarily means that master-servant dichotomy should be discouraged, particularly by former political colonial overlords, by Britain, France, and Portugal, to give a sense of belonging to members of an international institution. You see that the African nations are seen as clients to Portuguese. For instance, a total of 4.4% of Portuguese export was shipped to African members in 2006. There is no data on imports by Portugal from African nation to Portugal. So this is also a critical issue. So I also mentioned that in a broad framework of cooperation between Portuguese-speaking countries, the creation of a space where multilateral relationship can take place may help to overcome some of the limitations associated with the present world economic and financial system. And to achieve this, I listed about 3 principles set out by Carlos Ruiz, which are the principle of globalization and interdisciplinarity, the principle of diversification, and the principle of relativism. So this implies that the removal of Portuguese emphasis in analyzing and solving problems which are found in so-called Lusophone countries is very, very important. So finally, I said that according to Balosa, for the sake of equity, the CPLP needs to implement language policy within the theoretical framework of existential sociolinguistics paradigm that fosters social justice and existential justice and dignity for all languages. So thank you so much. This is 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prof.
So are we taking comment or the next paper should proceed?
So on the paper, I think one of the things the presenter should recommend is unification, because the way Portugal as a country has been treating former colonies, it's just about what they can grab from the former Portuguese colony in Africa, not so much of what they have to offer. That's why the Anglophone and the Francophone Francophone, Francophone and Francophone, mainly Portugal, France. They soon reached out where things are going. And the Commonwealth is the only one that plays a kind of semblance of relationship. And you all know that Britain cannot replace anything. So that's the kind of arena one will have expected. And the presenter will guide us. Can't we do away with all this foreign stuff and adopt an African language? What's the language that we use? Kind of Fiji they speak in their own Liberia and the rest. Swahilis and the rest. Can't we get down the way with them and start to look at an African language that tends to unite us in terms of language, culture, and the rest? Again, Portugal is a dead country. Portugal is not even a ranked country anywhere in terms of history, in terms of military, in terms of distance, in terms of technology. So why are you stuck with a dying, sinking colonial overlord that hasn't done you any? I think they have some problems with the recommendation. I think the presenter has the potential of learning much more critical stuff. So somebody might just take the paper and just adopt it as a kind of blueprint as to what will form the basis of the next structure in terms of relationship with the leader. But we're intellectuals, we're thinking for future leaders and current leaders. They may not say, they may not acknowledge their stuff, but then they're able to still. Maybe the question I know what time my already address with Torah. So that would be my comment, sir. So let's take.
Thank you very much.
I think, okay.
Yeah, stay down there. Let's see this. Okay, stretch down later.
Who's presenting next? Aderele Toba. Are you ready?
Toba. I'm 100%
Aderele
ready.
Toba.
Yes, I'm ready. I don't know if you can hear me.
Paper 16. Yes,
Yes,
please.
I'm ready.
Take the floor. Okay, 5 minutes. Clearly, I can hear you.
All right.
Please
proceed. All right. My name is Aderele Toba. So I'm here to present a paper on the role of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in global order. My paper is divided into 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is the history of Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Chapter 2 is the structure. Chapter 3 is the role of the organization in the global order. Chapter 4 is challenges faced by the organization. So the history is that the Organization of Islamic Cooperation was formed in 1969. It has 57 member states. 56 are part of the United Nations. The only country that is not part of the United Nations is Pakistan. No, sorry, Palestine. So the structure, there's 5 the structure. There are 5 structures: the Islamic Summit, the organization of the Islamic Summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Islamic Conference of Foreign Ministers, the Secretary General of Organization of Islamic Cooperation. There's a permanent secretariat, and the International Islamic Court of Justice. So I'm here to discuss the role of Islamic Organization of Islamic Cooperation in the global order. So the role of Organization of Islamic Cooperation in global cannot be ignored by considering it a weak organization on the world stage. Globally, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation represents more than 1.8 billion people. 1.8 billion people. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation became successful at mediating various views between Muslims, but is rarely served as an influential organization. It is imperative. Okay. So one. Okay. Sorry. One of their role is to promote Islamic solidarity. That's to foster unity, cooperation among Muslim countries, to address common challenges, interests, to protect Muslim rights, safeguard the rights and interests of Muslim communities worldwide, particularly the areas where there are minorities, to foster economic cooperation, enhance economic collaboration, development among member states through trade, investment, and technology transfer, to promote peace and security, that's to encourage peaceful resolution of conflict among members, counter terrorism, and promote regional and global security. Also to bridge, one of their roles is to bridge between the Muslim world and the Western world. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation serves as a platform for dialogue and cooperation between Muslim world and the Western countries, promoting mutual understanding and respect. They also advocate for Muslim interest by representing, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation represents the collective interest of Muslim countries at international forums such as the United Nations, to ensure their voices are heard and concerns addressed. They also promote cultural exchange and understanding by facilitating cultural exchange programs, educational initiatives, and people-to-people diplomacy to foster greater understanding, cooperation between Muslim and non-Muslim. They also address global challenges. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation works with international partners to address global challenges such as poverty, climate change, and pandemic, which affect Muslim majority countries and broader international communities. They also help in solving member states disputes. For example, was the one that happened between Pakistan and Bangladesh. And they also helped in so the next is the challenges facing the organization. That's the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. One of the challenges facing them is the issue of Islamophobia. Islamophobia, since the incident that happened on the 11th of September 2001 at the World Trade Center, there have been a lot of criticism, a lot of bad energy. There's been a lot of bad reputation to the Muslim world. So this has also affected the organization. There's also the issue of human rights. The organization has been accused on numerous occasions
So what's the problem now? Hello? Hello, class.
Okay, sir. So my recommendation.
Please conclude. You overstayed already. I don't know why the class governor is
Sorry,
not
my
monitoring that.
recommendation on the issue of my recommendation on the issue of
Please, anyone
is
in
the
30
organization.
seconds.
Start as apps for your presentation.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you didn't monitor the time. I
Thank
told you part of what you assess. Is that all? That's the
He thought
first paper.
there was a break in the network.
I'm
Yes, we
still
have
talking.
the last paper.
That's the fourth paper now.
Your 5 minutes time has elapsed, Mr. October.
You said?
I was telling to Mr. October that his 5 minutes have elapsed for his presentation, so we have to move to the last presenter.
I don't seem to hear you. I can't hear you correctly.
Hello, sir. Please, can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. So supposed to 5 papers, sir. 5, sir.
We can't take 5 today. Please go on by my instruction. I think we are taking 4 papers today. We are
Yes, sir.
saying 5. I don't indulge people.
Okay, sir.
I said we are taking 4 papers today. There's no way anybody who cannot pretend when during the time allotted for them to pack out of the course. I'm not being flexible because we're dealing with adults. That's not my style. We are supposed to vend it today. We said those who can't present now, all of them will be accommodated next week, and that's the final one. Anybody who's not able to present next week will get out of the course. I think I've said enough. You can't just allow people to run all the way they want, do things at their convenience, something that has to be structured and timed. Ordinarily, my structure is that anybody who is related for presentation, you have had your structure you did before presentation. If you are not able to present, unless you bring medical evidence, you have to stand off because that's what we were operating before. The social responsibility is taken up to another level. You take the 4 today, let me know the remaining ones that we can take next week, and that'll be final. Let me have the paper presented today, except for the ones that will be reversed. Is that okay?
Sorry, I was locked out of the class and my network.
Let them send to you hard copies of the papers, 4 papers presented today for assessment. I still will need all the papers to physically assess them and mark them. So then the remaining ones you're going to have next week, and that will be the final one. After next week, you can't have any other stuff. So I'll see you guys next week. Have a lovely